Leadership, customer service, and personal performance enhancement. Those are a few of the topics covered in Dave Mitchell's entertainment seminars. Mitchell is the founder of The Leadership Difference. He's also the author of 2 books, Live and Learn or Die Stupid, and The Power of Understanding People. He's speaking at an event this week at Virginia Tech, but he's with us live in studio this morning along with Lynda McNutt Foster. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning,
Kathlynn.
Dave, we're happy to have you. I love that Live and Learn or Die Stupid. You know, it sounds like something my grandfather would tell me on an everyday basis. You know?
Well, my dad fought with Patton in World War II, so he has a lot of sayings like "cheer up, it gets worse."
I like those. Now,
very fatalistic.
The Power of Understanding People, that's, you know, a book that's really getting a lot of attention. It was released in 2013 and actually named the best business book of the month by Amazon. So my question to you this morning, Dave, is what does it tell us about understanding people that we may be missing in our everyday work life?
Well, I think it's, you know, obviously we live in our own head all the time, so it's very normal for us to compare people's behavior to our own. So when it varies from what we think we would do in that situation, it's very irritating to us. So what I'm trying to help people understand is that everybody's behavior makes perfect sense to them, and so it's very important to understand how they must be thinking and why that behavior makes sense to them, and all of a sudden it's not so aggravating to you.
Well, Lynda, this sounds like some of the conversations that we've had.
Right. Yeah, he's very much in alignment with me. I got to see him when I was in Walla Walla, and I said, hey, wait a minute, you use a little different terms, but we're on the same page. And you know what he taught me was really, like, focus on making people laugh. Because when you can make people laugh while you're trying to train them, the information sticks better, and they start learning to laugh at themselves a little bit more, and then they laugh in the office, and it really does make work fun again.
Well, and it also comes and brings about the question, really, because one of the biggest challenges in the workplace these days is actually getting people to get along.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you get people to get along and really understand each other so they can be effective?
Well, you know, I think you have to prioritize that, first of all. I mean, one of the big changes that's occurred in business over the last 20, 30 years is this emphasis on customer experience. But the customer experience is indelibly linked to the employee experience. So we don't put as much emphasis, I think, sometimes as organizations about really understanding what it feels like to work here and valuing the diversity and helping everybody kind of understand this different perspective and how valuable it is that we have it, and why getting along necessarily isn't the greatest business strategy, because it creates kind of myopic thinking. So I think we have to kind of celebrate diversity instead of be irritated by it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Right, and like a diversity of thought. So we think of diversity in a lot of different ways,
Right.
but it's about the fact that I want you on my team if you think completely differently than I do, so that we can have a healthy debate.
Exactly.
And one make 3. So how do we have more transformational conversations instead of transactional conversations?
Well, and realistically, if you don't take the time to understand each other, understand your boss, understand your coworkers, understand the customers, then really you're not going to grow, you're not going to learn.
Exactly.
What have you seen over the last 20 years, if you will, as a big change in the workplace?
Well, you know, I think when the internet was imagined, you know, there's a lot of talk about how it's going to make the world smaller, the global village, and kind of, at least my interpretation of that is that we would be closer and more accepting of each other. And it seems as if it's almost had a contrary effect to that. So the lack of civil discourse in all elements of life, whether that's political or in the workplace or just with our own neighbors, is a bit disturbing to me. So part of the motivation for the book, which, you know, is now 5 years old, was trying to teach people how to be nice to each other. In some ways, it's a very, you know, humorous explanation of cognitive psychology, but at some point the fundamentals go all the way back to kindergarten. Really, you know, if we could just sit in the same sandbox for a while and not kick the sand at each other, that would be fantastic.
Treat others the way you want to be treated is basically what it comes down to.
And the way they want to be treated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next level, treat others the way they want to be treated, because it takes time for me to get to know you. That's actually a gift anymore. When I sit down, I ask you questions, I care about who you are, what matters to you, what motivates you. That's really what we need to make time for anymore in the workplace, I think.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave, you'll be speaking at Virginia Tech tomorrow afternoon, if I recall
yes,
correctly.
exactly. Yeah.
So we'll link you with that information on our website, virginiafirst.com. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
My pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Jason?